These dumplings must never open while cooking. If they do, they were made incorrectly, their shape is not accidental, their seal is a mark of quality. And there is a legend that links their name to one of the most dangerous snakes of the Caucasus. Today this is about Kurze from Dagestan, step by step, exactly the way I learned them there. We start in the classic way with the dough. Flour goes into the bowl, then salt, 1 egg if you like, and cold water. The dough is kneaded for 5 minutes until it is firm and smooth. As always, you will find all ingredients and quantities in the video description below. The dough is now covered and left to rest for at least 1 hour. This resting time is essential so it can later be rolled out extremely thin without tearing. While the dough is resting, we prepare the filling. I deliberately do not use ready-made minced meat. Instead, I work with a whole lamb shoulder, with bone, fat and structure. First, the meat is carefully trimmed. Tendons, blood spots, cartilage and silver skin are removed. This ensures the filling will be tender and clean in flavor. The great advantage of the shoulder is its natural fat content, and exactly this fat is extremely important for kurze. Now I carefully separate the meat from the bone. The bones are not discarded, I wash them and make a broth from them. This broth is for drinking, for cooking the kurze and for adding a small amount to the filling. The bones go into cold water, I add a little parsley root, a small piece of celery, some leek, parsley, carrot, salt and pepper, all very restrained so the lamb remains dominant. If foam forms on top, it is skimmed off. This keeps the broth clear. I do not add onions here because the bones are later also intended for my dog. Now to the onions for the filling. We need quite a lot of them. In many versions they are used raw. I deliberately saute them in butter, as I learned in my culinary training, until they take on a little color. These roasted aromas give the filling depth and character. After that the onions are left to cool. Now we cut the meat for the grinder. We add the fat of so-called fat-tailed sheep. This fat is called Kurdük and is often used in rice dishes as well as in very old classic kurze variations. Kurdük is a traditional flavor carrier in the Caucasus. As far as I know, slaughtering this sheep breed is forbidden in Germany, but you can buy the fat from Turkish, Arab and sometimes Russian butchers. If you know my Dagestan street food video, you already know Kurdük. This fat, which sits at the rear of these sheep, is considered very healthy and is eaten smoked or thinly sliced as a topping. If this interests you, be sure to watch my Dagestan street food video, it is linked above. Now everything is ground coarsely, meat, kurdük and the sautéed onions. I use a coarse grinding plate because traditionally the meat for kurze was always very coarsely processed. Seasoning is kept very minimal, salt and black pepper, nothing more. Some families use herbs or spices. This varies by region. I am showing a very purist version where the lamb is the focus. If you want to make a version with herbs and more spices, check the video description. Now a small splash of lamb broth goes into the mixture, not much. The filling should be juicy but not wet. The fat provides most of the juiciness here. Cover the filling and place it in the refrigerator. The dough is now ready. I divide it into 4 pieces and roll it out very thin, either with a rolling pin or with a pasta machine to about level 2. You can use a cup to cut out the rounds. The smaller the kurze, the finer and more elegant they look. Now comes the most important part, shaping. 1 round of dough goes into the hand, a spoon of filling inside, not too little. The edge is sealed and then the characteristic braided fold is formed, from left to right, step by step. This is exactly how I learned it in Dagestan from Dagestani women, if you have seen my Dagestan street food video. The dough must be thin but stable, because kurze must never open while cooking. This is considered a true mark of quality. The women who taught me this were very clear about it. Dagestan consists of many ethnic groups with many languages and traditions. That is why there are countless variations. But this folding technique is the same everywhere, and this is where the legend comes in. One common explanation links the name Kurze to the gyurza, a very poisonous snake from the Caucasus. The seam resembles a snake trail. Whether this is historically proven, no one knows for sure. But this story is so well known that it is still told today. The dough scraps are never thrown away, they are gathered again, rolled out and reused. That is how it is done. There is also a linguistic explanation in addition to the snake legend. The name Kurze may come from North Caucasian languages such as Chechen, Dajin or Avar and refer to folding, twisting or wrapping the dough. However, there is no definitive proof of this. Now back to the broth. It is strained through a fine sieve. Part of it goes into a glass because I want to drink it. The rest stays in the pot. The kurze are now cooked in their own lamb broth. This makes a huge difference in flavor. Rich, deep and very original. If you do not have bones, salted water also works. A small knob of butter is added. They are served here with sour cream. In Dagestan I also ate them with a tomato-based sauce. Both are typical. If you want to see these versions, watch my Dagestan street food video. There you will also see places like Derbent with its UNESCO fortress, markets and authentic dishes. Now comes the moment everything leads to. When you bite into them, the broth runs out, the meat is juicy, the dough paper thin, the flavor intensely lamb. If you want to see more traditional dishes like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see what this cuisine really looks like on location, be sure to watch the linked Dagestan street food video and subscribe to my street food channel as well. That is where the story of these kurze truly begins.